Hi, it's David here from Acoustics. So let's say you've got a relatively large space that you want to put an AV system into, but it has very poor acoustics. So what do we do there? Do we try and fix the acoustics first? Or do we maybe focus our time and energy on putting an AV system that can compensate the acoustic properties of the room? Or maybe we do a mixture of both. Well, let me give you an example of a recent customer that I've worked with and how we went about solving such a problem. Okay, so I'll describe the room for you. It was a very large conference room with a very echoey, bouncy, reverberant texture to it. Also historically listed, so he couldn't really do too much with placing equipment exactly where we wanted to. The floor was polished, lots of windows with a beautiful view outside, a very high ceiling, a wooden table that was, old and obviously reflective. So all these problems against us. So what we decided to do was actually focus on solving the acoustics first. So I brought in our partner Daniel, who's an acoustics specialist, and what he was able to do was sit down with a customer and give them some ideas on where they could put acoustic panellings. As I said, historic listed, so quite difficult. He showed them some panels which you could actually use as paintings or photographs, and they loved that, right? So he showed them where you could put those on the walls, and you could put a very high definition image or photograph, and that's exactly what the customer did. So that's how we got around solving the acoustics around the walls and dealing with those low frequencies. And on the ceiling, we were able to deal with high frequencies by just suspending some very light and very thin acoustic panels. You could barely see them, it was a very high ceiling. The color was matching to the actual ceiling color. Given the historic nature of the room, it was still okay to position them there. And the last thing we did was just make a slightly larger rug under the table. So all of a sudden, we had spent a little bit of money, not too much, but putting the acoustic paneling, the acoustic treatments in the right spots, and got a very well-behaved room, which was no longer reverberant and much better for listening. So then, to get an audio-visual system in there, we didn't have to spend a lot of money. We were actually able to use one of their normal, standard AV systems, which they have in other parts of the business, and just had a large enough screen for everyone to see. Wasn't expensive in terms of microphones or audio system, very easy to use and highly reliable. So at the end of the day, they had exactly what they wanted for a room that was giving them the conferencing capabilities they needed, and easy listening and acoustics problems were solved. So what's the moral of this story? The moral of the story is, I think when you have a problem like this, look at the acoustics, look at solving the acoustics first, and then the audio-visual equipment after. You'll find you'll have a lot more success if you do that, and your audio-visual systems can still be very simple, very reliable and easy to use. Thanks for watching. If you need any help or would like to ask any questions about this particular case, feel free to give us a call at Acoustics.